Hey guys, welcome back. This is Marc with Cinder Fitness. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing some things that you can do to help if you have a cranky back. All right, so a little bit about me. Long time ago, at a younger stage in my life, I had a compression injury and a trunk rotation injury, which now I have spine narrowing of the L4, 5, and S1. It's what brought me into personal training and coaching. After my physical therapy, I noticed that I was still not fixed, but I was still broken, I was foken. After physical therapy, I noticed that I was still not feeling great and my back hurt and it hurt to do things, and I was always an active person. So I did some research, I went into the gym and I started to strengthen myself, and I learned about different ways to improve the overall health of my spine and my core and how it relates to your spine. And this led me to helping a couple other people in the gym, and then it ended up being something like, you know what, this is what I like. I like helping people and learning about the body, and that was about 25 years ago. So first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and establish if your back is tight, because a lot of times if we at home can just go ahead and loosen and lengthen and strengthen our affected area, that's going to have a great relief. And then I'll show you a couple maintenance exercises. But what do you do first if your back is really tight, right? Or if it's really stiff? Well, one of the best things that you can do is take the pressure off and take the load off of it. And that means literally just laying down. Ah, the comfort and the joy. Okay, so what's happening is the small of my back is flat with the floor. I'm going to hold myself here if I can. I want to make sure that that low back is engaged. And then one vertebrae at a time, I'm going to slowly come down and then just kind of relax. And I'm just going to put my arms wherever they're not going to bother me. Okay? And take some big deep breath. Exhale. Breathe from your ribs. Depending on what's going on with your back, that may actually cause some discomfort. Another alternate way that you can do this is have your feet down. It's going to rotate the hips just a little bit. It will lift the smaller your back up, but if your back is really tight, laying it flat, this actually might be better for you. Just take a couple big deep breaths again, check it out. And by check out, I mean your back. And if you can breathe a little bit easier, this is your position, okay? So how do we get up? Okay, well, you roll to your side, okay? And slowly bring yourself up. Take some time. Bring your leg forward. My back is straight now, okay? Ideally, I would have a chair right around here, or something nearby, and I wouldn't have to trunk twist and rotate. And then loading up my leg, pushing down into my heel, keeping my knee behind my toe, just like we would if we were doing a regular lunge, right? Then I would just go ahead and I would push myself up, hands to my knees, and slowly bring myself up. So in this position right here, I should have my abs pulled in, a little bit of a tilt, squeeze my glutes, and that is one of the proper ways of getting up off the floor. It's very slow, but hey, if your back is cranky, you don't need to be going fast. So how do you determine if your back is excessively tight or just moderately tight? And what do you do about it? Or if you're going to help out a friend, what do you do about it, right? Okay, so I'll hit my profile, pull back my shoulder blades. I'm going to try and take a tall position. I'm going to bring my arms up. Now, I'm holding onto this PVC pipe. You don't have to, but I would recommend that you hold onto some implement like a broom handle or a mop handle or something, because it's going to make sure that the arms move in unison when you do your squat. So if I'm here, okay, from here, and I come down my squat and my arms drop forward, that's a pretty tight back, okay? Because what's happening is your lats right here, okay, they tie into the base of your spine. And if they're tight, they're not going to want to lengthen and then lengthen again, because as you squat, what's happening is this area right here, right, is also lengthening. So it's kind of like a tug of war. However, if you're here and I do my squat, and I can drop down, and my arms kind of stay in line with my head, then your back is okay. If it comes forward a little bit, you're tight. It's not that bad. But if you can't come down as low as you normally can, or if your arms fall way forward, you have a tight back. All right, so if it's tight, but you're not to the point where you can't move around, you don't need to be on the floor to take pressure off, and you want to start loosening up, this is what I recommend you get going on. All right, most of you already know what this is. This is a good old-fashioned love to use tool, and it is simply a foam roller, okay? You don't have to use a foam roller. You can get away with, say, like a soccer ball or something else like that, but you can even do it on the floor if you need to, okay? But if you have a foam roller, this is what you want to get on top of, and this is one of the first exercises that you're going to want to do. We want to loosen up this area, the low back area, at the glutes also, and one of the best ways to get that started on is the piriformis. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take my position right here on top of my foam roller. I'm going to bring my left ankle over my right knee, and you'll see I'm going to bring myself right over, and I'm either going to roll forward or I'm going to roll back until I find something that's tight. Now here's where most people goof and they don't even know it. Stay there. Breathe. Let that tension leave. Okay? That might be 30 seconds, might be a minute. A lot of times people do this. Okay? And that feels good, but that's not addressing the knot or that tension where it's located. Okay? Once it leaves, move back. Nothing. Okay? Move back forward again. There it is. Stop. What you're doing is you're basically chasing it out of the length of the muscle. Okay? Do it until it's gone, and then do the other side. All right, so the last exercise in our foam roller series to address back issues. This was one where if you've been feeling okay up until this point, I say go for it. If you're still super tight at any number or any one of these exercises in the progression, right? Piriformis, spinal, upper neck, stay there. Don't go to this one right here. But if you got through all those and you're noticing that you're getting more and more relief and you're getting range of motion and nothing feels wonky, then finish off with this guy, okay? All right, so I'm gonna put the foam roller right here, just at the very top of my glutes, not in that small back area, okay? I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna bring my legs out. I may bend my knees just a little bit to make sure that everything is the amount of pressure, and then I'm gonna go side to side like a windshield wiper. Pop, and another side. So remember when we were talking about initially about if your back, if your lats are tight, they're going to have, a limiting range of motion there. And so this is one of the ways that we can go ahead, we can do a final touch on the glute lat junction and just side to side. Okay? If you need more work, then you probably don't need this, right? Here's fine. This is fine. So that's our foam rolling. All right, so we got done with our loosening. Now we're getting to lengthening. So remember, the first part was all about some compression type of work, massage, SMR, self-myofascial release, that sort of stuff, okay? That's the loosening aspect. Now the muscle is malleable, it's warm, it's ready to become lengthened. So we have a seat in our chair. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do basically the stretching version of the piriformis. Now I'm gonna give you 3 exercises. This is our first one. Now you'll notice, right, that say I'm like really tight, and that knee's up there, okay? I can go ahead and I can drop my forward foot and then come down. Now I'm gonna place my elbow here on my knee and I'm gonna push down just a little bit, but not crazily, right? We wanna coax that muscle into lengthening, and then just like on a foam roller, we're gonna pause. We're gonna pause where we feel the beginning of tension. Take 3 big deep breaths, right? Doesn't have to be all yogic. Unless you want to. And if you feel that muscle lengthening, right? Or more specifically, if you feel that tension, the initial stretch, if you feel it starting to give and not be much of a tension, then exhale and go further into the move, okay? So we're here, tall spine, pull back shoulder blades. And I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna take my 3 breaths. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna say, okay, is this still tight? If it is, back up, okay? It's very easy to go too far in your stretch and actually cause more stress onto that area, which in turn it will recoil back up into itself, and then you just basically undid everything, okay? So now that stretch, that tension I had, it's gone. Okay, we'll come in and try it again. All right, I got a little bit lower that time. Let me take my 3 breaths. Not bad. All right, let's try it one more time. Come out of it just a little bit. Big breath in. Exhale. All right, right there. And that should be my lowest depth yet. You go slow. A lot of times when we stretch, it's very reactionary, right? Like, oh, kind of tight. And remember, when you stretch, you produce small micro tears in the muscle, which is good because the body repairs itself, says I don't like that, and it comes back stronger, developing more strength and or flexibility. But if you already have a strained muscle that already has some tears in it, and then you force a stretch without even warming up, you are going to tear it. It's possible to tear it more, okay? So loosen and now lengthen. All right, here's the next exercise. Hey there, tubers. All right, so this is the standing bicep femoris stretch. It's a mouthful. Basically, it's just put a foot up on something and do a twist, right? All right, so for me, I'm gonna use this chair. But if your flexibility is not quite there, or your back is saying, slow down, then you can always just go ahead and put it onto a step, onto a staircase if you have it, or a porch, or maybe, you know, if you haven't already used it up for TP, some phone books, stack them up. All right, we're gonna get our foot up there, tall spine, as always, right? And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take my toe, I'm gonna turn it towards the midline of my body. So it's gonna be rotating that way. Here's my midline, it's gonna go whoop, right there. All right, from there, I'm going to turn, I'm gonna look over my left shoulder, and I'm gonna come down. And I'm gonna practice the exact same breathing and hold and release and reapplication of breathing and hold that we did in the last exercise. Nothing changes. Everything is a constant. Tall spine, abs in, pull back the shoulder blades, breathing, right? It's repetition breeds success if you do it right. Otherwise, you just get really good at being wrong. That's not what we're about. Okay, so we hit that guy, and I want you to be able to do it just off the gate one time. If you feel like you need to do more, that's fine. If you feel like you need to do a lot, you probably don't need it any longer, okay? But keep that in your back pocket, because if you're somebody who deals with back pain, like this guy, you always need to have your ability to help yourself and heal yourself at the disposal and ready to go. All right, next exercise. Okay, so if you felt like everything up until this point was very manageable and you didn't have to stop just like the foam rolling, then we'll go ahead and we'll progress this just a little bit by putting a little bit more range of motion into the work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a alternating reverse lunge with a trunk twist, okay? So from the front view, we're here. I'm gonna take my step back, right? Take my step back, and I'm gonna drop into my lunge, and I'm gonna take my left leg is forward. I'm gonna take my right hand, and I'm gonna touch either the floor, my ankle, my calf, or rest my forearm onto my knee. If my back is so tight that even this is bothersome, you don't do it. Remember, everything I'm giving you is a progression. If you can handle the first exercise, then you do the second. If you can handle the second, then you do the third. If you don't push it. Go back, readjust that last one that you did have success with, see if you can go a little bit deeper, see if you can hold the stretch a little longer. Do what's right for you. Okay, so here we are. Trunk rotation, little twist, little twist. And you'll notice this is my right here, not as bad, but on this side right here, I had a little bit harder time getting that shoulder back. And that's all because of torn rotators. So I have lived with and continue to live with a lot of like goofy things that have done to my body from time to time, but I felt like it's given me an insight into how to help people armed with the knowledge and the science of kinesiology mixed with firsthand experience. So for me, if I felt discomfort in there, which I didn't, I just have a limited range of motion, I would start going into a little bit more of a warm-up and active work for the anterior deltoid and my pec, right? Or my shoulder, my chest, right? If that's limiting me, because in each one of these moves, you have to remember what's the limiting factor. Can I not go forward? Can I not twist? Can I not rotate? Find out what works for you. All right, so we've loosened and we've lengthened. Now it's time to strengthen. Remember, everything is a progression. So up until this point, if you have felt like you were okay to do the work, then we will go ahead and move into the strengthening aspect. Otherwise, just get out of there, get out of there, get out of there. Okay, so you have the chest raise nailed and your back is starting to get, feel better and you're moving towards like 10, 11, 12 repetitions. Okay, now it's time to test the waters and check out your trunk twist strength. Okay, so I'm gonna be in my position like normal, but what's gonna happen is I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna see if I can lift my hand off the floor while banking, okay, to the side. And then down, open it up, banking to the side. Down, open it up, okay? Doesn't have to be a crazy big move. And you'll notice I'm not coming up very far and I always have my hand ready and prepared to assist in whatever weight displacement I need. So I'm here, okay, up, let that back open. It's imperative that it has to open up. People that stay up here, crunching, hyperextending, hyperextending, you're putting a lot of pressure on your back that you don't need to, and it's not gonna help, okay? It is getting the proper range of motion all the way down for flexion and then extension, okay? We hit those, and once again, if you can start getting upwards towards 10, 15, maybe 20, you're on the right path. And then do multiple sets. Don't do anything weighted until you can get the straight chest raise and the alternating reverse oblique handled, okay? All right, so the last exercise I'm gonna show you is gonna be the one where if you've come along and you've done everything, you're getting your reps, you're getting your sets, things are starting to feel better, this is gonna kind of encourage you to get more range of motion and at the same time increase the load, okay? This can be done on the ball or it can be done without. So what's basically what we're doing here is we are a hands and knees position and this is our quadruped. We start off right here. I'm gonna have my hand close. I'm gonna extend it out, okay? This is the one we start with, just like that. And I'll get 10 of them, okay? Same thing with the other side. You'll notice that when I come out, my thumb is up, my hands are forward, my arm is by my ear. Big breath in, exhale. And you should feel some lengthening back there. Now once you get comfortable with that, and your back can handle an extended arm position, then we're gonna kick out the opposite leg, okay? 1, 2, 3, all the way until you feel you can't. We want to work towards the beginnings, the very beginnings of a dull ache. All right, here's the other side, okay? 1, big breath in. 2, this was super challenging for me. 3, when I was first rehabbing my back. 4, 5, so forth and so on. Now there's other variations of that. If you get strong and you're able to do that on the floor, hands and knees, then you can go ahead and you can bring the ball back in and you can go ahead and extra layer of work. So that's basically it for right now. I feel like this is a strong format for anyone to follow. Remember, it's loosen, lengthen, strengthen, okay? You go at your own pace. You make sure that you give yourself the opportunity to stop when something starts becoming a little bit more than what is work. You're not working out, you're rehabbing, okay? And you're making sure that you keep a healthy and active body. So we are gonna work on that. I will probably have a second segment where I'll have like the next progression. But if you're one of those folks out there like me who wakes up every now and then with a cranky back, start off, loosen, lengthen, strengthen. Maybe all of it, maybe some of it, but definitely get at it, okay? All right, this is Marc with Cinder Fitness. Thank you so much for watching my video. You can always drop me a line at marc@cinderfitness.com. Follow me on Facebook and all the other little platforms there, and I will see you guys when I see you. Let's get at it.